This is the morning of the 8th of November. A clip put up by Fox, written by Bree Stimson, Stimson, published on the 7th. Title: Supreme Court blocks lower court order forcing Trump administration to fully fund SNAP program. Administration filed emergency appeal after an appeals court denied requests to block lower court's ruling. You can't make this stuff up. The U.S. Supreme Court issued a temporary block on Friday on a lower court's order requiring the Trump administration to fully fund the Supplemental Nutritional Assistance Program, SNAP, amid government shutdown. Again, you got all of these representatives, they get their paychecks, they get their full fridges, they got their Thanksgiving dinners all planned, and these people can't even afford to exist. And we're talking millions of people are on the program. The decision came shortly after a federal appeals court on Friday denied a Trump administration request to temporarily block the lower court ruling. On Thursday, U.S. District Judge Jack McConnell rejected the administration's effort to only partially fund the benefit program for some 42 million low-income Americans for November as the shutdown drags on, giving the government 24 hours to comply. People have gone without for too long, McConnell said in court. You have to wonder what's wrong with Trump's administration. He's going to be totally slaughtered if he even survives until the midterms. After the appeals court's ruling, the Trump administration filed the emergency appeal to SCOTUS late Friday. None of those SCOTUS representatives appear to be underfed to me. Do they appear underfed to you? Given the imminent irreparable harm process for these orders, which requires the government to transfer an estimated $4 billion by tonight, the Solicitor General respectively requests an immediate administrative stay on the order pending the resolution of this application by no later than 9:30 p.m. this evening, an administration spokesman told Fox News. New York Attorney General Letitia James responded to the Supreme Court decision Friday, calling it a tragedy. Quote, "This is a tragedy for millions of Americans who rely on SNAP to feed their families. It is disgraceful for the Trump administration chose to fight this in court instead of fulfilling its responsibility for the American people," said a statement. These 42 million people cast votes, but they're too stupid to understand it. They meaning the Trump administration. The Supreme Court ruling came after the U.S. Department of Agriculture on Friday said it is working to comply with the judge's orders to fully fund the program for November. In a letter sent to all regional directors of the SNAP program on Friday, Patrick Penn, Deputy Undersecretary for USDA's Food, Nutrition, and Consumer Services, said FNS is working toward implementing November 2025 full benefit issuance in compliance with the November 6, 2025 order from the District Court of Rhode Island. He added later, "Today, FNS will complete the process necessary to make funds available to support your subsequent transmittal of full issuance files of the EBT process." I went ahead and I did a search. I think you're going to find this to be interesting. You know how much money Walmart brings in from SNAP? Well, according to this, Walmart alone accounts for almost 1/4 of SNAP spending, about $25 billion. And SNAP spending accounts for more than 8% of their grocery sales. It is difficult to underestimate just how important SNAP benefits are to economically vulnerable families, children, and broader economy. October 27, 2025. $25 billion is spent on SNAP at Walmart stores. Pence said the department will keep regional directors as up-to-date as possible on any future developments and appreciate your continued partnership to serve program beneficiaries across the country. He scolded the Trump administration for failing to comply with the order he issued last week. The judge also said Trump officials failed to address a known funding distribution problem that could cause SNAP payments to be delayed for weeks or months in some states. He ordered the USDA to tap other contingency funds as needed. The whole thing's insane. Trump administration officials said in a court filing early this week that they would pay just 65% of the roughly $9 billion owed to fund the SNAP program for November, prompting a judge to update his order and give the administration just 24 hours to comply. The evidence shows that people will go hungry, food pantries will be overburdened, and needless suffering will occur, McConnell said. That's what irreparable harm here means. How about how many military families aren't going to have Thanksgiving because they haven't been paid? How about how many airline controllers aren't going to have Thanksgiving because they haven't been paid? I mean, the whole thing's insane. Trump's like a wrecking ball, but he's got, billions of dollars for that mausoleum he's building? He's also plastering a lot of gold around the existing White House. I don't know if you noticed that. Never mind just the Oval Office. The guy's nuts, and he needs to be removed now. That's just sort of what I think. And shutting down the SNAP is disgusting. 42 million people are affected. And the Supreme Court, once again, totally worthless. They're not going to rule on his tariffs until June of next year. How insane is that?